Mm. And do a body scan. So a body scan is kind of letting your consciousness travel through the body from the top of the head down out to the fingertips, down through all of the torso and everything that is in that area of the body, down to the legs, down to the toes. And in neutral, seeing where neutral is for you. Now we're going to focus today on the understanding of how the lower body takes us through the world, and how the knees work with the rest of the leg. And so what you want to do in neutral is go, well, do I feel anything in neutral? Now, neutral for you may be lengthening out your legs, and it might be putting a cushion under your knees. And you want to test that out. So I'm going to lengthen out my legs and feel, does one side feel different than the other? Can you tune in? You know, tuning in and feeling the tuning in of, okay, what do I sense on the one side of my body and the other as you do a body scan? You can notice in this position, either legs extended or not, you can usually notice what side of the body is larger than the other side of the body. You can notice if there's more sensation, more attention that goes, your consciousness goes to one side of the body or the other. And especially as you get down to the sacrum and spread out into the two legs. Then bring the feet flat on the floor, and or find another, stay in neutral and find the breath. Breathe gratitude through your heart and bring into your heart all those that you want to send a special blessing, a special acknowledgement of gratitude to. And send it through seeing them in your heart. See the image of them in your heart and take it to the third eye and connect it with the visioning gland, your pineal gland. And connect it all with this amazing power of overflowing gratitude for the people in your life that you want to just really embrace with that gratitude. And you can start with just one, but you may have a whole bunch of them come, you know, like a whole bunch of your family or friends just kind of walking through and saying hello. Or you're flying through the universe saying hello to them. And then take a moment to bring the spark of divinity, the divine nature within each of us as we're studying and understanding that divine nature through the opal. This opal color, you know, gives us a sense of the lucid dream. It gives us a sense of the translucentness and the you know, the truth of who we are as we recognize that we are beyond these earthly bodies. And bringing that divinity into, excuse me, into that cough as women. Breathing gratitude through the heart, we go to the feminine heart, which is crystal pink and a touch of white and green. Divine love, adoration, tolerance, reverence for all life, oneness, ascension, and hope, resurrection, illuminated truth, healing, divine grace. All through the third, fourth, fifth chakras of the new solar chakras of the 12 that we're working with. So breathe into these various attributes of this feminine heart. And breathe into, see the sparkle in your heart travel again to the brain in the world of our own ability to expand gratitude. Expand the heart through opening up the arms. And then lengthen out the legs, come into 5-pointed star. And make yourself as big as you can in the position that you're in. Know that we're also this geometric form called the flower of life that emanates from the heart, or really emanates from, or was an emanation from the belly button in the navel radiation of the 5-pointed star. But take that 5-pointed star and draw, take a line or tap the top of your head and then go down through the center of your pelvis and out through the center between the two legs. And you might bring to mind the image shown by our powerful artist friend who expressed and showed this image to us again of the red that was done with oil pastels, and just bring that color red and the understanding of the feminine and the feminine understanding of birthing. And birthing brings us back to the second chakra, which is lower than the belly button, but that contains that womb and takes us further down towards the exit, the entryway and exit through the center of the body between the two legs. So now we're a 6-pointed star. Now imagine this is in tetrahedrons. 6-pointed star, and you've got a 3-dimensional figure. It actually sits nicely within the flower of life. The lower half and the upper half fitting together as 2 tetrahedrons. And just hold that geometric shape as we go through this class. Breathing, filling the whole body with this divine nature, the shining of this light. Spreading that light out and touching each other. And we have the power of 3, amazing power of 3, which is the 3-pointed, it's the triangle. And then you take that triangle and make it a tetrahedron, make it a 3-dimensional figure. We're the power of 3. 3-sided with a bottom and a top, a tip. We're grounded into the earth in that solid part as the triangle, as the tetrahedron. Fill that tetrahedron. Then bring the fingertips together and your hands to your heart. We've done this a lot. It's a mudra for going back to the 7 chakras: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But we get as far as light blue with this one. We're the rainbow, and then thumbs at the third eye. And what we see ourselves is the rainbow is actually white light, but isn't it the magic of the rainbow all the time? When you see a rainbow, oh my God, it's like, wow, there's always a wow factor to a rainbow. That's who you are. So take a moment to have the wow factor for yourself. Feel yourself as that rainbow, and you are shimmering white light as those 7 chakras, and then go out to the 5 that we've inherited as we've gone into this higher vibrational level and with the evolution of humans. It's just evolution of our humanity. It's an evolution of what it is to be human. We're evolving to see the world through a 5-dimensional window rather than through a 3-dimensional window. And that helps us be this being that can see and feel the flower of life as a 3-dimensional sphere. And we are the earth, and the earth is the flower of life, and that is a 3-dimensional sphere of circles upon circles upon circles upon vortices, and all those vortices hold all of geometry within it, and it is the fabric of time-space. Then bring the hands, bring the hands over your head and go back to, I am much larger than I am, and I am that I am. I am so hum. I am the universe, and I am the soul star chakra, the universe chakra, which is the channel to the galactic chakra. And I am affected by this incredible new moon right now, which is a new moon of manifestation. The 20th and 21st of January here in 2023 is this powerful astrological time of beginning a whole quarter of manifestation with the lineups of the planets, taking us up to the galactic chakra, to the universe, to the divine matrix chakra, where the divine feminine is rising from our divine hearts, from the very uterus of our sparkling red, to the crown of lucent fluid and lucent opal, where you can see through it, sparkling, shining every way you look at it, a slightly different rainbow of color. Then bring the feet flat on the floor and ground yourself into those feet again, and bring your hands to your heart. Namaste. Now, this is a very grounding posture. It's prayer position, but it also is, I honor your humanity. I honor my humanity. I honor you. I honor me. I honor all beings. I honor all that is created as oneness. And it's an interesting form that became prayer position. So send a prayer out to all those who are needing extra support right now with the flower of life, with the geometry, with the light that we can shine, and know that you are much more powerful, and we as power of 3 are tremendously powerful. Then take a deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. And reach the arms over your head, lengthen the body out, stretch from the heels of the hands to the heels of the feet, and hold your breath. And stretch, and evaluate. Keep evaluating everywhere in the body that you feel a little extra sensory perception that draws your attention as you continue to do body scans from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes, and then relax. So you might find a little twinge in an elbow, or in a shoulder, or a finger, or, in a lower back, or, there may be something anywhere. So you're looking just for those places where the divine is speaking to you to pay attention. Then bring the arms down by your sides and see what that feels like. Bring the feet down to the floor and drop the knees side to side. And as you go to dropping the knees, get a sense of, sensory perception of pelvis and lower spine, and ground it into the upper back. Is there anything there? Knees, how it is to bend them. Is there anything twinging in this position? Just all, and all part of an exploration today. How about the feet? You know, for me, I have a tiny little neuropathy in the feet, and I can feel it at different times when I pay attention, and I can feel it more after a long day. And then pause for a moment, pull the knees in and hands under or over the knees. And again, you're looking for, what is my sensory perception of these knees? You know, how's it working for me to pull the knees in? Wiggle or roll the ankles and wiggle. How do they feel? You know, I can, you know, I broke a toe once, and I can, although it is healed as it is going to heal, there's always going to be something different about that toe. You know, so then roll the knees in the circle and feel what goes on when you do. How far in do you pull? Does it feel not so good unless you put your hands under the knees? Is this not good at all? What's the difference between the two sides? And then you're going to bring the knees further, bring the knees up to your chest, and then bring your hands down to your feet. And still, like, I can feel my knee on the left side when I go here. You know, is it a good feeling? Or is it a feeling of irritation? Am I doing something good for my knee, or am I hurting it? You know, so the evaluation of what's going on in the knees. What about the pelvis? What about the neck and shoulders? Then find your way back down, and back. Take one ankle and cross it over. Now it's an exploration of the pelvis, the hip. Now you can have a chair or a couch or something right nearby, or you can have a block and you can put the foot on a block. You know, and you can raise that foot up a little bit, and then it just stretches that hip a little bit more. Now there's a little osteopathic trick here that we're going to do today, and that is you take the knee and you don't pull it in. You just take it and you, with the muscles of your leg, you press it out, and you hold for a breath, and then exhale, and you release it. And then you press it out, not with your hand, but with the muscles of your outer thigh, the iliotibial band, the one of the quads, one or two of those quad muscles, and you might feel it down in there. And hold it, take a breath, and release. Now decide whether you want to put your hands behind your knee or a strap, and do the same thing. Press out, hold, take a breath, and release, and just see if anything happens. Can you even press out at all? You know, you might find that your pelvis is too tight. Do you have one side of the body that has more sensory perception than another? Then change positions. Bring that foot onto the block, take the left leg, or your foot can be on the floor, and press it out. Now, where do you feel? When you press out the knee from the left side, using the muscles of the legs, not with the hands, not pushing away. Breathe in, inhale, and then exhale and release. And then press out and release with a sigh. Maybe one more time. And release. So, considering your knees, decide if you want to pull in. Lace the fingers behind or in front of, or with a strap. And see if you can push out with the muscles of your leg. Take a breath and release. Maybe you can pull in a little further and push out. The muscle energy technique, this is called in osteopathy. MET, and release. Ah. And then release the whole thing. Press that away and shake it out. Shake out the legs. Bring the feet flat on the floor. Little bit of core strengthening here. Hands behind your head, and either feet on the floor or knees up, and lift and exhale and exhale. And as you do, don't forget the pelvic floor. So if we were shining light out of that area, imagine holding it in and letting that light spread out into your solar plexus, out of your solar plexus even stronger as you're working this strengthening of that area between your belly button and your heart. Exhale at your own pace. You can just have your feet on the floor and just press into the lower back and look at the ceiling and just lift your shoulders off the floor. You make this as difficult as your body wants, and you listen. So listening, and particularly keeping that understanding of body scan all the way through this practice today. And then hold the posture. Pause. Press into the lower back, squeeze at the pelvic floor, and body scan. Where do you feel a difference in your body? And then pull the knees in. Roll the knees in a circle. Other direction. Then this time I'm going to offer you knee to elbow. You got knee to elbow. You got simple. You got elbow to knee. Bring one knee up. You got the feet up. You can also, though, take one hand and put it on the bottom of the foot. Well, right now I've got my left foot up. Right hand on the foot, and you switch sides. Now this is both a core strengthener. Now you can also hold one side and lift and lower. They're all core strengtheners for the same area of the body. You point your toes and you have your hands help you do this as you hold the knees and the foot. And again, you can switch it to raising and lowering to strengthen the quad. If your head gets tired, you put one hand behind your head. And I'm going to change sides. I'm still going to work that core. One hand behind my head if I get tired. And you're noticing also, what is it like to bend that knee in that way? And then lower it down, lower your body down, shake it out, pause for a moment and feel the energy. Do a body scan from the top of your head out to your fingertips and down to your toes. What do you feel now? We're going to come up. So either rock yourself up or roll over to your side to come up. So we're going to get on top of our knees so that we can evaluate the knees in this position with the weight of the body on the knees. So if you need a lot of cushioning, then get a cushion, get a bed cushion. If you need something for your wrists, if you haven't gotten them yet, these are push-up bars. And just go to cat-cow. If you can't be on your knees, you can always go to a chair, sit on the edge of a chair, and you can just do this physical movement to get us working with the spine. Breathing. Feeling the pressure throughout the body, feeling the strength of the arms here. And then hold one direction. And just feel it, be with it, breathe it. Feel the other direction. Breathe it. Then put this in motion, and this will be a little bit of arm strengthening. You go doing a spinal roll with this. And you're also testing out, what is it about the knees that might be speaking to you? Is it, the knee is so complex that is it internal? You've got a lot of ligaments that hold that knee stable. Or is it between the knee? You've got all that tissue, the cartilage and the menisci that help us lubricate and be in that area of the knee in the center, in between the bones. And then you've got ligaments and tendons and muscles that are all connecting all of the other soft tissue to the knee to stabilize it. Change directions with the roll. And just when we're doing this, just see if there's any awareness of where or how the knees are working. And then pause. Before we get off our knees, we're going to fold back. And that's another one where you kind of evaluate, well, can you go back with the knees together? Can you go back with the knees apart? Does that irritate it? Do you need to sit on a chair and just fold over where we're in this child posture? Have you ever tried putting a cushion on top of the knees? So there's another way where you protect and give the fold a little bit more protection. And then there's not going down that far at all. There's coming down on your elbows and putting your head on a block or head on the floor, but going into puppy stretch instead of all the way back into child. So you're choosing to evaluate what's going on in the knee through using gravity on the floor and seeing where is it that knee is working. And I'm doing this a lot for myself because I have this very complicated injury in my knee. And I need to understand it better all the time. Then back up into hands and knees. And then over to your side. And we're up. We're going to do a spinal twist. So it's either in mermaid position, or you can find another position or hop up on a chair and do a spinal twist. In this position, a knee may not like it. And if you haven't tried it yet, then you take a cushion and you bring yourself up a little bit and see if that's better or worse. It's also like my left knee is the one that has a problem. So I could put it out. And I'm going to do that spinal twist. And I'm going to bring myself around. I happen to be facing the left, so my right arm's going around first. And I'm just going to come around and do a really good spinal twist, breathing into it to get the spine to come back into alignment of whatever that alignment is. Sometimes a vertebra is out. It's also a way of helping the vertebra and the cushions between the vertebra, the discs. They actually get nutrients by working them. So we're working it here. And then back around. And I'm just going to do it on the other side. I left the cushion right there, and my right hip is right on that cushion. Again, you can put out one leg and just come around, breathe into it, and go back to that understanding, this new understanding of the solar chakras. They also call it the 12 solar strands of DNA that have been dormant because of the ego, the 12 aspects of deity, the circle of the sacred 12, and the 12 solar chakras. I mean, that's a lot of 12 going on right now in all different aspects of the worldwide spiritual community, and not part of any one religion. It's all just the spiritual, the understanding of what we're calling truth. And we have the sapphire blue, the sunshine yellow, the crystal pink, the the crystal white, the illuminated crystal green, like a like an emerald, and the ruby, and the violet, like a amethyst. I mean, you've got all of these wonderful 12 colors that we're playing with: aquamarine, magenta, gold, peach, and opal. And then back around. Now with the next 10 minutes, let's see, what do I want to do? I want to still feel the knees a little bit. So what we're going to do is come up and straighten out the leg, because what I want to do is stretch now the backs of the legs. And if you want, of course, you can always have your hands on the wall or a chair. You don't have to be down that far. And you get a good stretch of the backs of the legs here. We could do it with the strap. That's always a good way to go. And legs up the wall is a great thing to do. But it's partly to evaluate all the tightnesses we do have behind the knee, what's going on in the Achilles tendon, what's going on in the toes. So give yourself a moment to, on each side, take a breath, breathe into the tightnesses, and a breath on the other side. This is your first chakra, how does this work? Your legs, they carry you through your world. But instead of coming down, cutting up, we're going to come back down. We're going to roll down onto our side to stretch the quad. Now we could do this standing, but I want to do a few things down here, stretching the quad. Now you can come all the way down on your head. You can come up onto your hand. You have a lot of choices here as to where you want to be. And that bottom leg is bent just for support. And you want to see, well, how does this knee feel? How does the quad feel? Can you catch your hand at your foot? Do you have to catch your pants leg, or do you need to use a strap? So feeling that, and, doing a little forward and back, and then holding, hold for a moment and breathe into it. See how much you can relax. So if it's more relaxing to put your head all the way down, try not to engage the whole body. Try to just play with this. Now you can do this standing in the dancer, when we do that balance posture. But sometimes this is a better way to go. Now, some people can do it on their belly, so you can do it that way. Some people can catch both sides, but you want to just play with one and then decide if you're at a more advanced level and you're watching this video, you might want to change to something more difficult. Okay, and then release that one. And I'm going to switch sides, but I'm going to stay facing the, I'm going to switch over, but you can just roll over to the other side and then see what this one's doing. Now, this one is my knee injury on the left side, and the quad is super tight, super tight. I can still fold the knee and everything. I can still do that, but it's pretty tight. So I'm going to rest as much as I can and do a little forward and back, and just see how it feels as this is the active isolated stretching, is to do this forward and back and then hold it, and then relax as much as you can. Now, if you can't relax, then you take a block or a cushion, put it between your legs. Now, you can't really see that very well. Let's see, let's take the light colored block, which I lost over here. But it's always about a cushion or something, if you need, if it's a little bit too much and you're not really able to stay there and breathe, or you feel like it's damaging rather than helping, then you have to evaluate doing the body scan. And I get confused, I get confused when I have an injury, what's good for it and what's not, and what is exactly happening, especially the knee is so complex. There's so much attached to it. Okay. And then let it go. Then roll over onto your belly from there. And first you're in Sphinx. Stretch out in Sphinx and reach up out of the crown of the head, press into the elbows, and check this out. Check out what's going on in the front surface of the body. Check out what's going in the back, in the back. Spread the fingers wide. Look straight ahead. Reach up out of the crown of the head. Notice that you might be able to feel the pubic bone a little bit. You might be able to feel there's a balance point there, and it's a triangle. So you might want to think of that power of 3 again, and go back to the triangle. Go back to the tetrahedron, and imagine the 2 tetrahedrons on top of each other. We started out with the 6-pointed star, but we turned it into a 3-dimensional tetrahedron, one on top of the other. Then bring yourself down and press off from your toes, cerebral spinal fluid balancer. Do you feel anything else here? Is there any part of the body that gets, a twinge? Body scan in motion. It always feels really good to me. But when my head is up a little bit, I can feel the right side of my neck just a little bit. Do you feel anything? That's what you're looking for, is to know your body so well, to be aware of all the little places that are speaking to you. And then pause. Now there we were actually working those shins. So shake the legs out. You'll see I'm going to just shake my heels together. And then roll over onto your back again. As we settle down. So I'm going to come into Reclined Goddess, because I need it for today. There's also, on Wednesday, we came into, supported shoulder stand on the block. This is supported Reclined Goddess with the cushion or a blanket or something rolled up underneath you. You can even use couch cushions and bed cushions. I've tried it with all sorts of cushions or bolsters. And you don't have to use these blocks, but it gives you a little support for the inner thighs and the pelvis here. And you can use cushions. You don't have to have blocks. So you're really working with this. But here, what I love is that it opens the chest. And it's just a neutral way of opening the chest. Breathe gratitude through the heart. Go back to all those people that you'd like to tell how much you love them. All those human beings that have crossed your path, that taught you something, or that were part of your life, that brightened your life in one way or another. And then gratitude for all beings, and see who comes in. For me, I get sprinkled with flowers. My favorite flowers, all the colors, all the fragrances are all around me. I see the insects, the amphibians, the reptiles. I see them all. They're so amazing. All the beings of the planet. They're all part of me. Then I bring in the whole earth, and I bring in the waters and all the different representations of waters that are in my own consciousness. The ways I have run the rivers, swam in the lakes, been in still water, walked through streams, hopped over rocks, built fairy houses along the edges of the stream. All the things that have come into my life. In the air, the element of air in the heart, which is connected to the lungs, as we breathe and replenish the oxygen in the body, letting go of the carbon dioxide and letting that carbon dioxide go to the trees. This reciprocal understanding between all of the plants and us. The exhaling of carbon dioxide and the inhaling of the oxygen produced by the plants. Ah. And that ah sound. Take a deep breath in and let it go with the opening of the heart. Ah. Ah. And then taking a moment to celebrate your femininity from this posture, the reclined feminine. The reclined feminine. Notice the shape and imagine the power of 3 getting together with our toes touching each other and our hands touching each other. Imagine that shape, because it creates part of the flower of life. We can draw a triangle around ourselves. The power of 3 comes forward in many, many, many traditions. And you may have your own that you can speak of to the power of 3. Breathing, relaxing. Notice where the body touches the floor and where it doesn't. Notice the shape that the body makes. Sounds and smells and the feeling of air on your skin. Letting all of the muscles of the face relax. Hands to the heart. And peace, shalom, salam, pak, shanti, pache, mir, maluhia, Frieden, Hang Sang. May we have peace, and may what we do here go out onto the world and make more peace. Take a moment to let that settle. Decide whether you need to stay there or gently move yourself into fetal posture, coming to the divine feminine as the baby, as in the womb, as in this fetal posture that we return to throughout our lives. And then into the mermaid that brings us to the oceans and brings us to the Lemurians and brings us to all of the marine beings. And then up as you get up,